18th century Philadelphia. 18th century Philadelphia. The location of Philadelphia remained along the Delaware River, which is by today's Old City and Society Hill parts of town. The Schuylkill River blocked off more settlement coming into Philadelphia because you needed to cross it with a boat or ferry, which many people could not afford, or they were often full or did not come often. Going up and down the Schuylkill River was not very reliable due to many rocks in the river and boats needing to wait for surges of water from rain or snow to carry them safely over the rocks. Benjamin Franklin struggled, as he mentioned in his autobiography, with finding transportation to Philadelphia anytime he left or when he first arrived. He mentioned that the old man who found him a job in Philadelphia arrived before him by riding on horseback rather than taking the boat. The religion in Philadelphia is largely Quaker. There are many members of the Quaker community that Benjamin Franklin mentions throughout his autobiography. Quakers at the time, or the Friends Church as we more commonly refer to them today, were quite progressive for their time. By the end of the 18th century, they had actually made it a rule that none of the church's members could own slaves. Benjamin also mentions that even though he was not outwardly religious, he paid for an annual subscription to the only Presbyterian church they had in town. So you can tell that the religion in Philadelphia was not largely diverse. Now we're going to talk about the lifestyle of Philadelphia. Betsy Ross, who was actually commissioned by George Washington to sew the first American flag, lived in Philadelphia during the 18th century. Most of the population was poor and uneducated. We see this happening when Benjamin Franklin was setting up the town's first public library. He could only find about 40 men who were interested and had the funds to help support it. Many people lived together in cramped quarters, often overfilling rooms of houses. Men would go out and hunt for meat in the surrounding forests near the town, while farmers would bring in vegetables to the town markets. Water pollution was huge in Philadelphia because the townspeople would often put their privies or their leftovers from using the bathroom near their wells where they stored their drinking water. So the people of the town would often get sick due to these conditions. Here are some more interesting facts I found out about 18th century Philadelphia. It was the largest colonial city in America at the time, and it was home of America's independence from Great Britain. The first and second Continental Congresses were housed in Philadelphia, and it is also where the forefathers signed the Declaration of Independence and then later the Constitution. It also acted as the first capital of the United States in the late 18th century. Benjamin Franklin actually helped co-found the first hospital within the United States in Philadelphia. And then a little bit later, Richard Allen, a former slave, founded the first African-American church, named Mother Bethel AME. George Washington actually donated to help start this church. And as most of you probably know, the Liberty Bell hangs in Philadelphia still today. It was first hung in 1751, but it later got its name in the 1800s during the abolitionist movement of Liberty Bell, and it is the universal symbol for our American freedom. Benjamin Franklin was said to be the town's most famous citizen of the time. He was very influential also. He was friendly with many of the governors from Philadelphia and the surrounding towns, especially New York. He went to Philadelphia because while he was looking for work elsewhere, a man he ran into looking for work said he could not offer him a job, but his son might be able to offer him one. So he moved to Philadelphia and began working for that man's son. And then he eventually started his own printing business at the suggestion of one of the governors. While in Philadelphia, he also helped set up the town's first fire department, help establish postal routes to other major cities like Boston and New York City, and he helped start the College of Philadelphia.